Tell me a secret you kept for more than 5 years.
My most embarrassing secret. I kept it for 20 years, but now I'm going to put it on the internet for all of you because it's hilarious. My senior year of high school, I had split lunch, which means I had fourth period, then lunch, then fourth period. I don't know what I had for lunch on this particular day, but I remember being very fond of the Tex-Mex line, so we can all assume it was ill-advised, whatever it was. I go back to the second half of class. I've been sitting there for about 5 minutes when I realize that whatever I ate that day is not sitting well with me. There is a storm brewing in my intestines, and it is not good for anyone. So I put my hand up and beg for a hall pass, to which my teacher says, "Absolutely not. You just had lunch. Why didn't you take care of it then?" I spent the next 20 minutes learning nothing about world history and everything about clenching my abdominal muscles so as to avoid committing social suicide via a fart in fourth period. Finally, the bell rings and I ran for all I was worth. Now, you need to know that my high school was very overcrowded. We had about twice as many students going there as the building was built to accommodate, and the building was laid out really stupidly, so all of the traffic got forced down a central corridor. My nearest bathroom was on the other side of that corridor, and if you had to go across it, there were good odds that you were going to end up in a traffic jam where you just physically could not move from people pressing against you for several minutes. So when I tell you that I ran faster than any presidential fitness test or pacer test has ever been able to get from me trying to get to that bathroom before the corridor filled up, but I wasn't fast enough. I made it about halfway across and the hallway came to a grinding halt. I was pressed, physically unable to move against about 100 other kids, while a gym teacher stood at the other side shouting, "Keep moving, keep moving." So now I can see the bathroom, but I can't get there, and I feel like I am physically about to die. I feel like I'm going to explode. I don't know what I'm going to do. And finally, a little demon appears on my shoulder and says to me, "You know, there's so many people here. If you just let it out and don't let on that it was you, no one will know who did it." So I did. And for a few seconds, I thought I had been blessed by the gods of flatulence because by rights, based on how long I'd been holding that in and what I was feeling, it should have thundered forth with a sound like the trumpets of the Lord. But it was dead silence. There was nothing. And I thought, I got away with it. And then the people behind me started to scream. The gym teacher goes, "Keep moving, keep..." Oh, God! And they cleared out in 15 seconds. You've never seen anything like it. People were running and screaming. I felt fine, so I just went on to class. My friend comes in a few minutes later and sits down and she goes, "Oh my God, did you hear what happened?" And I'm like, "No, what happened?" And she says, "Someone dropped a stink bomb in the main corridor." And then they come up with the announcements and they tell the teachers, "Someone dropped a stink bomb in the corridor. Please keep students in classrooms while we look for it." And then the principal says, "To the perpetrator, we will find it and we will find you." And I just sit there at my desk going, "Bet you don't." They should have given me that hall pass.
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years. Let me hear 'em.
When I was in third grade, we had Apple Week, and our teacher every morning would ask each of us how many Apple products we had eaten the day before. And I did not eat apples. I did not like fruit. So I didn't want to say zero, so I would just throw out a random number so I wouldn't be the only one who said zero. And I didn't realize that my teacher was going to keep track. So at the end of the week, she announced who had eaten the most Apple products, and it was me, because I had thrown out too big of numbers each day. The closest person to me had like 11 Apple products. I had like 24, 25, 27 products, something like that. And because I ate the most Apple products, I won the role of Johnny Appleseed in our class play, which part of being Johnny Appleseed was to stand in front of everyone's parents and announce that I had eaten the most Apple products in our class. And my mom was in the audience like, "The fuck?" Yeah, I lied all about that.
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years.
Back when I was 10 years old, on my family's like MacBook computer, there's like that photo booth app. I saw the scene from the Titanic where Rose got a nude drawing of her, and so I put on the filter that made everything look like a drawing on photo booth, and I took a nude photo of me laying on a couch at 10 years old, and I printed out this photo. This is like probably in 2010, and to this day I still don't know where that photo is. I don't live in that house anymore, but that photo could be anywhere. Nude photo of 10-year-old me pretending to be Rose from Titanic.
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years. Let me hear 'em.
Oh my gosh, I've never spoken about this and I've never admitted this, but I think today is the day. So when I was a child, my family neglected the fuck out of me. They didn't really give a fuck about me. And when I wouldn't get the attention that I craved from my family members, I would fake something to make sure that I got attention, okay? So when I was 7 years old, my aunt who was raising me at the time got a boyfriend. And she, you know, started putting her attention elsewhere. My actual mother, who came up from Jamaica, was also here. And my grandmother. So on this day, my aunt was not home. And I just kind of felt like, you know what? I need some attention today. So what are we finna to do? And I was only 7 years old. So I pretended that I ran into a wall in the house because I had something over my head and I was playing, that I knocked myself out on the ground, and that I now feel like I have a concussion. So after I actually played the whole scene out in the house with nobody even in the house because everybody was outside, I was like, okay, now it's real. Now it actually happened. But it didn't, because I didn't faint and I wasn't playing with anything to make me run into no wall. So I went outside and I told my mom, I really just hurt myself in the house. Like, I just ran into a wall and I kind of knocked myself out. She was immediately worried. Like, it automatically worked. Like, I was automatically getting attention. So I was like, I knew from this moment on that this is what I was gonna do to get me some attention in this damn family. So they took me in the house, put me in my grandmother's bed, and started caring to me. And they were like, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. We need to know if we should take you to the hospital or not. So we're gonna call your aunt to find out. So my mom was calling my aunt. She was like, she ran into a wall. She just hurt herself. She slammed her head and knocked herself out. What are we gonna do? Should we take her to the hospital? Should we call 911? What are we doing? So at this point, I started playing with it a little bit more, and I started acting like I was falling asleep. And when they started calling my name, I started pretending like I didn't hear shit, okay? So my mom was like, oh no, she's falling asleep, but she's not responding. I'm calling 911. So she hung up from my aunt. She called 911. And when the ambulance pulled up, I was still pretending like I was not responsive. They came in the house, they put me in a stretcher, and they took me outside, and the entire street was outside of their houses watching what was going on in my house. This was the most attention I've ever gotten, bitch. I was lit! Anyway, I actually did turn out to have a concussion, and I didn't know how I got it. But when I told you it was an Oscar-winning performance, I was Meryl Streep in this bitch. I was Kate Winslet in this bitch.
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years.
Oh, well, I've been waiting for this. So my freshman year of college, I had to live in the dorms, and my roommate was super religious, and I was still pretty religious at the time, but I was then, as I am now, a bit of a petty asshole. He had a boyfriend who would come over and spend all the time over there. Like, they would stay up until like 2 or 3 in the morning with the lights on, watching movies, being loud and cutesy on her bed, all that shit. Pissed me off because my classes were really early, so I would be trying to be like in bed asleep by 10. And she would just keep telling me like, oh, I'm just toughening you up so you can sleep through anything. Our dorm was also dead ass, I'm not kidding. It was kind of haunted. So finally I got mad enough that I was like, well, I'm just gonna help little Ghosty along. The ghost would pull like one of the veins of our blinds down and I'd be like, cool, buddy, I got you. Like, I'll move her peanut butter to the other side of the desk. Shit like that. She would always ask me about the stuff that happened. She's like, did you touch my stuff? I'm like, no, I have no idea. It must be the ghost. Favorite moment though was when I smuggled a bunch of bubble wrap into my bed until all the lights were turned off and while we were like going to sleep, and I would like pop the bubble wrap every now and then. Oh my god, she slept in the hall. She prayed over our room. 3 years later, she was part of the group that kicked me out of the co-op I was living in. She's still religious and married to the human version of a rice cracker.
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years. Let me hear them.
This is your opportunity to turn back, keep scrolling, because you're not going to be happy at the end of this video. I went to high school with this guy who had a religious girlfriend, but one of those religious types who lets you do butt stuff. So they were at her parents' house on the couch, and her parents came home, and he moved quickly, and she pooped on the couch. Not even close to the worst part of the story. They panicked and, like, got out of there. Her parents come in, they're like, what the hell? And basically, they blamed it on the dog. Her dog was, like, older and, kind of, like, pooping all over the house and, like, whatever. No harm, right? Well, this was kind of, like, the last straw. So they took the dog to the vet,
I want to hear the secrets people have kept longer than 5 years. Let me hear them.
In 2006, my classmate Emma told me she liked our classmate Jake, and I've kept it secret until now.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry?
Bitch, customers coming in the store right before we fucking close. Now that right there, bitch, is some disrespectful ass shit. Like, if you know